Let's see. We are going to read some Reddit stories while while I'm high as all outdoors. I was gonna curse, but obviously we can't do that. So yeah, y'all, I already started smoking, so I do feel a little something already, but let's go. I already got the page pulled up. I just didn't hear or, well, read any of the stories, y'all, so let's see what happens, y'all. There we go. Alright, y'all. Cheating stories on Reddit. So I'm just gonna scroll and just pick something that sounds interesting from the title, and we'll go from there. My brother and my ex-fiance framed me of cheating so they could together. Obviously, that's a typo. So let's see what they're saying. Oh, this is long, y'all. Hey, Reddit, I don't know how to start this, but I never expected to make a post like this. Here we go. I 31 female. This is a female. Just had the weirdest thing happen to me. 7 years ago, me and my fiance were in 11 relationships since college. Met when I was 24. We were friends for about a year before becoming a couple. He was employed as a lawyer. They met through a mutual friend, and after a while, they got together. They were in a relationship for 5 years, and they got married a year after he proposed. Throughout their relationship, he was always more in tune with his feminine side. Early into our relationship, I introduced him to my older brother. Right off the bat, they hit it off. I thought it was really sweet that my two favorite people were bonding. I had known for a while. I knew this was going here, y'all, but I was hoping that it wasn't. I had known for a while that my brother was bi, but I paid no mind to it because he was still my brother. 2 months before the wedding, she noticed that the husband started pulling away from her, so she got concerned. She started keeping a close eye on him because she thought he was cheating, which was confirmed. She got a call from her mother demanding she go to her mother's house. She rushed over, and she was greeted by her brother and her husband on the couch. Her husband was crying on the couch. She tried to rush to him, but her brother stood up and blocked her from her husband. She yelled at her brother, asking him what he was doing, but he stopped her and said, "I know you have been cheating on your husband." He showed us the screenshots. She was confused, so she asked, "What do you mean?" All right, this is going. I don't know where this is going. I don't know where this is going, y'all. But hold up. This is a lot, so this is probably gonna be the only story on here. Her brother threw her husband's phone at her, and she saw hundreds of messages with a profile that looked like hers but wasn't her, and a bunch of receipts. She said recipes, but a bunch of receipts to hotels all over the city. She was shocked, but before she could say anything, she was shoved out of the house and told to never return. She was obviously crushed. She didn't leave her house for months. She stalked her husband's profiles because she wanted some kind of closure. A couple of months after being cut off from everyone, an unsaved number messaged her videos of her brother and her husband together that went all the way back to 2017, which was when he first proposed to her. They got married in 2018, proposed in 2017. So, okay. Says she was heartbroken and tried to reach out to anyone who would listen, but everyone had blocked her. She didn't know anything until a week ago that her husband and her brother have been openly in a relationship for 6 years. After she realized that, she decided to go to therapy. I understand, because this is making me want to go to therapy. So a week ago, she woke up to 78 missed calls, 60 messages from her mother. I don't like her mother. She seemed to be doing too much. And it seemed like the mama knew that the brother was hunching with the husband, and she was just more on the brother's side than her daughter. This is just my opinion, y'all. And 45 messages from her father. Something told her not to reply, but she dialed her mother's number. When she called her mother was crying uncontrollably. She told her that one of her cousins confessed to helping her ex-husband and her brother frame her so that they could be together. The next day after the cousin confessed, they asked him for more information, and the cousin said her brother paid off the cousin's tuition just for him to make fake screenshots and profiles to frame this woman, which that's entirely too much to go through just to cheat, baby. If you listen, it ain't that much cheat. You don't want to cheat that bad, and for this to be going on. This is ridiculous. This is extreme. And he simply couldn't pass up the deal because the brother was paying his whole tuition. So the mother confronted the brother and the husband. They tried to deny it, but the mother threatened to cut off financial support for them. And then, okay, it says the mother didn't tell her much about the conversation, but it was basically confirming what the cousin said. The mother asked to reconcile with her, and she told her mama to get lost and never contact her again. And now she wants advice on whether or not she's being the a-hole. Okay, this is what I'm going to say. I already gave my commentary throughout the whole reading of the story. However, regardless if you were cheating on your husband, right? Your mother had no business taking your husband's side. That is the wildest thing I have heard in a very long time. She can admit that you're wrong or whatever if you were cheating, but to completely block you, cut off contact with you, and all of these things, that is extreme. So I agree with your decision to not let her back in and to keep the communication cut off. Your brother is no good either, and he deserves every bit of anything negative that's going to come to him, because the extreme lengths that he went through to embarrass and ridicule you so he could be with your husband was ridiculous. And obviously your husband knew about it and was okay. No, he didn't know. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. I don't know. It's a lot to unpack with this story. But listen, you ain't the a-hole. Leave all of them people alone. Make sure that you get tested, because they was messing with each other for a very long time. And hopefully you heal from this. You said you're going to therapy. Stay in therapy, baby. And that's about it, y'all. And I'm done with this. I can't take no more.